It's been in the making for quite some time, and we are now ready to unveil it to the public and give you some details of what this program entails. Now, with that being said, I'd like to introduce you to Assistant Chief of Police Humberto Talamantes, who will be talking about the program in reference to it pertains to the police department. Chief.
Good afternoon, everyone. Assistant Chief Humberto Talamantes, been with the El Paso Police Department for 31 years, and I'm here to, very excited to tell you a little bit more of our small unmanned aerial systems program and how this is going to improve public safety for our citizens and our officers and first responders significantly. So first, what I would like to start off is by giving you a little bit history about this. So we all know that drones is not a new technology. Drones have been used by the private sector, by law enforcement for more than a decade. We, the El Paso Police Department, started using unmanned aerial systems about 5 years ago. And we first started using the one drone that we had back then. Keep in mind that technology was not as advanced as it is today, but we did have that one drone. We started using it to monitor large public events such as parades, demonstrations, marathons, concerts, everywhere where large crowds would gather. And this was done so that we could quickly address any potential threats to the public, and we can mitigate those. So we were very successful with that. But like many departments across the nation, we quickly began realizing that drones could be used for unlimited situations. And we started using them for searching for lost or missing persons, for persons that were in danger. We can quickly locate them, search hard to reach areas, and also assisting our counterparts, public safety, fire department at fires, and working together to enhance the safety of our citizens. So now, fast forward, we're here today. And technology in this last 5 years has improved tremendously when it comes to small unmanned aerial systems. The city has invested quite a bit for this technology so that we could make our public safety and first responders' jobs much safer and also improve the safety of our community. As you can imagine, for first responders, we can streamline decision-making and resource allocation at emergencies much more efficiently. And we can use drones, I mentioned, search and rescue operations. With those high optics and thermal imaging, we can locate, it's easy to locate missing persons or people in danger much more efficiently. We also use drones for first responders at critical incidents, right? We can provide real-time situational awareness and live video feed to our first responders that even when units get there to the scene. So enhancing decision-making and increasing de-escalation efforts at this critical incidents, it's one way that drones it's a game changer for us for public safety. Another big use is for it can quickly and accurately capture three-dimensional modelings of traffic accident scenes. And this is done within minutes, and versus it would take us an hour or more. So we can open our roads for commerce and citizens much quicker. So you can see the unlimited ways that drones, just those are a few examples that drones will be providing us. Our partnerships with, when we started experimenting with drones 5 years ago, we started reaching out to our partners at the airport, right? Because of course they're the experts in the aviation field. So we wanted to make sure that we learned as much as possible as all the rules, regulations, FAA regulations that exist. And our partners from the airport have been tremendous partnership all along, and have been vital in getting us the waivers that we need, so that we can fly those drones anywhere in the city and get there within seconds to give that support to our first responders. So the airport has been vital in that aspect of helping us with the waivers. And then, of course, our fire department. You'll hear from Chief Killings from the fire department. They've been partners all along from the beginning, and we've worked together to train our pilots, learn from each other, and support each other at critical incidents. So I would like to pass the microphone to Chief Killings. So if you want to ask any questions of me or him, and say a few words to you. Chief, thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Good afternoon. Jonathan Killings, Fire Chief, El Paso Fire Department. So just to build on a little bit about what Chief Talamantes was talking about, you know, the fire department as well has been using drones for many years to help enhance our response capabilities for the citizens of El Paso. We've seen them have a great benefit in providing situational awareness to our firefighters that are responding to the scene. And then also our incident commanders, once on scene, they can make adjustments to tactics and strategies that they're using firefighting operations to help get that fire put out a little bit quicker. We've also been using them as part of our COMSAR, our mountain rescue team, to help locate victims lost in the Franklin Mountains. So this program is just taking an already existing program to the next level, elevating it, and in turn elevating the level of service that we're providing to the community. We're able to get these drones in the air a lot quicker, minutes instead of hours, so that those responders that are even en route to the scene are getting information and getting better situational awareness so that they can start making decisions on how to better mitigate emergencies before they even arrive on scene. So we're very excited about the potential and where this technology can take us into the future. So Tony Nevares is here with the airport. He's the third leg of our partnership and our collaboration here with the city of El Paso. We all took different strengths from each department, put them all together to make this this project possible. So, Mr. Nevares.
Thank you, Chiefs. Good afternoon. Tony Nevares, Aviation Director. Our role was primarily to kind of kickstart the program, bring it together. We work on the waivers. I didn't really have a prepared statement. I just wanted to come and support the team as they needed. So I think at this time, if you have any questions for the team, be willing to.
Ask a question. So the vendor you're using was referenced in the 2025 NDAA funding bill for the Defense Department and made subject to a national security review by the U.S. national security agencies. Are you aware of that, and does that cause you any concerns with this partnership?
So, not really concerned. So we've been working with DJI. The first step of taking their basically building an in-house server, we have our own network, was to put it on the government cloud. So we do work, we're in communication with the feds anytime they want to know. We'll show them we're very transparent on what it is, but we're off of that network. That was the first step. Second step is to bring in-house servers. So we'll have those probably by the end of September.
You're off of what network? The AWS?
So we're moving off of AWS, so that we're not on the DJI network exclusively. We've moved to AWS, so it's two-factor authentication. Only we have access to it. And then the next step is to...
DJI does not have access to AWS?
That's correct. That's correct. It's a AWS government cloud service. So
were you aware of the NDAA provision?
We were, but this project started before this, so the wheels had already started to turn. We had been using DJI equipment before, and so now working with them, they are going to be in phase 2, working with us. So the servers will be off of AWS. It's a little pricey, so we'll bring the servers, our own private servers, VPN only. We have access to that network as well. And we have invited DHS to come look for penetration, so hopefully we can maybe even help with...
When did you make that request?
Well, we don't have the servers here yet, so it'll be the end of September, early October. So we'll invite them out here.
Oh,
Yeah,
after the
that's correct. After we have servers in place, and DJI has been very helpful. Also, President Wilson and UTEP and their team have been really helpful on the, on the other real technical side of that, just to make sure that there's no holes in the network.
UTEP Aerospace Center.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You want to?
If I could add something, that's a very good question. And like Director Nevares mentioned, when we purchased this technology and these docks that were strategically placed around the city, we did a lot of research on it, and the ban wasn't the talks about the support, because you also have support with this legislation. Then you have also those that don't support that legislation. So there's both sides that are debating this, but we feel very confident about our systems because where we stored any law enforcement or public safety feeds, that would be handled just as we handle any data retention policy based on our policies and regulations, and which is also CJIS compliant. So that data is not accessible to any other when it's privy to law enforcement. It's just like think about our body cameras, right, that we wear. We follow all the rules of CJIS compliance. The same thing, if we were to take a feed of a critical incident where fire and police are dealing with a hazardous situation for the public, if we do record that, that's going to be as far as CJIS compliant, and make sure that all the data retention policies, that the privacy is respected. So yeah, we take that very seriously. Thank you for asking that, sir.
Chief Talamantes, how do the police and fire departments work with the airport? Of course, your drone usage is not like anyone else. How do you guys work with the waivers that are around maybe the El Paso International Airport, military zones like Fort Bliss? How do you guys work with those waivers?
So like I mentioned earlier, well, the use of drones is not an unprecedented concept, right? It's been here for about a decade, and law enforcement, public safety agencies have dealt with this for years throughout the nation. But we're very excited because of this partnership with the airport director, the Chief Killings, and UTEP engineering. They were experimenting years ago with unmanned aerial systems. So we got together with the experts that the El Paso Police Department wanted to build this program, and we got partners and new experts in their field. So now we're the first one in the nation to have received in Class C airspace beyond a visual line of sight. What that means is that we have pods strategically placed around the city, but within seconds you'll be able to have a bird's eye view instead of using the traditional helicopter or plane, which is cost prohibited, pilots, all that. You can have now a bird's eye view of an incident unfolding, and decision makers can make better decisions, resource allocation, better safety for our public servers. So what that means is we have licensed pilots that can safely and remotely fly drones anywhere in the city, and like I said, get there to critical incidents within minutes. This is a game changer for law enforcement, public safety, which is only going to make us way more efficient with our resources and make our officers much more safer out there when they're handling emergencies, and also for our public. So we're very excited.
Waiver, real quick, sorry. Is this the same waiver that the Utah College of Engineering got from the FAA?
No, and the waivers, these are the waivers that the airport helped us apply, and I can ask Director Tony Nevares to expand on that, please.
So we have, and it kind of answers both your questions. We have multiple waivers. We kind of did the, crawl, walk, run method. So we started out with a simple Part 81 waiver, which was law enforcement only for beyond the visual line of sight. And now we have 107 waivers for beyond the visual line of sight. And we do take into consideration different waivers in different areas of the city, but we do have the largest urban environment network of waivers that we can deploy.
So this is not the 87-mile beyond visual line of sight that Utah announced a couple weeks ago?
No, we have that. We have the beyond the visual line of sight waiver of 107, but this one that we're talking about specifically today is Part 91. So it's for law enforcement. A drone is first responders.
And that's the city of El Paso.
That's the city of El Paso, correct.
How many licensed drone pilots are part of this program, and how much did these units cost? They were $40,000 each back in 2018, so how much?
Do you want to talk on the waivers? Yes, and the pilots, huh?
Yes, we're currently, as we're building the program, and as I mentioned, we started a beta phase in downtown El Paso, and the beta phase is to test 4 docks that we have around the central area, what we call the Central Regional Command, and the pilots, we only have 3 pilots at this time. We're building the program, getting trained, a lot more officers trained so they can do this as part of their, as an auxiliary assignment. Because of course, staffing challenges and all, we can't just assign officers for this. But during the beta phase, we found that it's more than we thought. The results are much bigger than what we thought. They're proven to be very effective in like I mentioned, mitigating emergencies and critical incidents. So we can see that the investment that we thought that the city made on this is paying off in just this beta phase. Cases, emergencies have been mitigated much more efficiently and safer for everyone. So we are going to be looking at training more pilots. And this is in conjunction with UTEP, which they offered. Dr. McGee from UTEP offers the training for our pilots, and our training is very extensive. Not only do we have to get a license from the FAA, go through the training, but also we do practical training for our pilots. Safety is paramount to us for this program, and Director Nevada's, Chief Killings, this is one of the things that we've harped on from the very beginning of this program, and safety and privacy for our citizens. So we take that very seriously, getting the proper certificates, training, licenses, and also the practical training.
And how much is the city spending on this program?
The city, I can get you the exact, I don't want to give you wrong information, but we did it over the years, through grant funding, some through the general budget from the police department. So I can tell you, give you exact figures through our PIOs and make sure that let you what the program costs. But we have 22 docks throughout the city, and like I mentioned, strategically placed on the rooftops. You'll see a demonstration here in a little bit. We have one up here at headquarters, and at fire stations. Chief Killings was very kind enough to work with us, and at police stations, fire stations, other city buildings that we place throughout the city, so that we can deploy those unmanned aerial systems quickly and not depend on a state or a federal agency to fly a helicopter and mitigate emergencies for our community here. We're going to be there within seconds and respond accordingly and mitigate those incidents.
What's the response time? Can I add to that a little bit? So PD has 3 pilots. Fire has 16. The airport has about 20 pilots as well. So for during different incidents, we can support fire and PD, and we've done it before. The Sun Metro Fire, all 3 departments were there and assisted each other. So for the community, that's kind of why we did it the way we did it.
So that's how many total pilots certified or licensed pilots?
Correct. License pilots, we have pilots in training. We have some that are not mission qualified, and we have electronic observers and visual observers as well. And I don't have the exact number on that, but
Do you think this program will save money for the city with better allocation of resources, or maybe not having to use the helicopter while you
That's a great question. So as I was mentioning earlier, we have a lot of metrics that we're going to be measuring this program, and with the beta phase that we started downtown, we've been measuring those, and absolutely, like I mentioned earlier, it's proven to be much more efficient than what we thought. The results that we were going to see, we're seeing them, but also getting within minutes. Even like I mentioned, a lot of the missions are going to be in general for public safety, but there's going to be those like where a felony, the imminent threat of life or somebody getting hurt, and we are going to respond to those as well, and to make sure that our officers can get there quickly, promptly, and mitigate the scene as they're getting there to it.
DGI published an article back on August 5th about this program, just kind of going in depth what you guys have been working on. Is there any reason why the departments took a little bit of time to push out this program, the details of it?
Yes, like I mentioned earlier, to us, the safety and privacy concerns and following all the state, federal, and FAA and local laws, regulations were very important. And on top of that, our policy that we had to make within the police department to be very strict. So we took our sweet time with this, but we wanted to make sure that safety was paramount, that our pilots were trained, that they got practical training, and like Chief Killings and Director Nevada's mentioned, we have pilots within each department, and we are going to be some emergencies that we're going to respond together. Now, there's going to be other emergencies for public safety only, as you can understand why, and that's why when you asked me the question about our pilots, as far as law enforcement responding to imminent threat of life or a felony where example, a robbery just occurred and people are hurt, that's where we're going to respond to our pilots, and we're going to increase that eventually. But there's several aspects to this drone program, but today we're talking about the drone as a first responder.
What's the contingency plan if there's a negative ruling against this company?
Well, great question. Thank you. I know that that's a concern. When we started looking into this technology, DJI was and still is, I believe, the largest manufacturer in the world. So of course their technology was way more advanced than anybody else back then. Now there's of course a lot of more companies that have now at their level or up there with them. But if this legislation, there's support for it, there's also others that in legislation that do not have support.
Respectfully, it's not legislation, it's the law. It passed both houses last year and was signed by the president. And by the end of this year, if the investigation isn't completed, DJI will lose the right to do business.
Yes, and there's a clause in that law that we're grandfathered in till 2030, I believe. 2030. Should that happen, should that they make that legislation to effect because of the investigations pending, then we would be grandfathered in till so many years so that we could either replace technology or take other actions on that.
What technology will these units have? We heard about camera, maybe infrared camera, but also any facial recognition. What technology will these units have?
Yes, so the small and manned aerial systems have evolved since we started using them. The first drone that I mentioned to you earlier. This technology has improved so much that the high optics, the cameras, you can view a scene, an emergency from far away, miles far away, right? You also have thermal imaging where you can locate stranded people that are in danger in the mountains. We have that very common here in El Paso. So you have that thermal imaging for locating missing or endangered persons. And you can cover large areas within minutes, right? Instead of or hard to reach areas where our personnel would be put in danger or are often put in danger because we don't have that. So this technology is going to mitigate, help us a little bit with that.
That DJI article that I mentioned earlier, at the bottom it mentions that the city may consider expanding into other departments, such as Parks and Rec, I think Streets and Maintenance was one of the other ones. Do you see the city working towards that?
Do you want to answer that? Yes. Director Nevarez will answer that.
Yes, sir, absolutely. So that's, right now, we're focusing on Part 91. We'll start working on the 107 waiver. Again, we're taking it slow. We want to make sure that we're being as careful as we can with every privacy issue, every compliance issue that we have. We're working with the Albuquerque-Fisdo Flight Standard District Office constantly to make sure that we're following all the rules. But yes, sir, to your point, right now the airport does work with parks on irrigation systems, public relations, and so that's the goal, right? Is to get everybody to be able to use these docks as needed. Obviously, the first responders will have first access to it, but if there's a way that we can get everybody to be able to use these, that's the goal, right? And then ultimately, as the team has discussed, is to open it up to, with the waivers, with the systems we have in place, is to open it up to outside agencies to come do drone deliveries. And again, we've got to work with the city to see how we want to approach that. But that's the goal, right? If we can come bring in drone deliveries, advanced air mobilities into the network and the systems that with the waivers that we've brought in. Yeah. You got it.
Chief, real quick, you mentioned that there's 3 pilots licensed right now. Is it just this program, or just 3 pilots in general for the police department?
As far as the drone as a first responder for incidents where law enforcement is called for, that's the beta phase that we started downtown. And so our 3 pilots are responding from our flight center, that they're remotely flying that drone to an emergency scene. And like I mentioned, there's our policy is very strict. We just don't respond to any calls for service. Has to be an imminent threat of life, a felony. So only those types of other than the planned ones that I mentioned, like a search and rescue. Of course, we can coordinate that with fire. They have COMSAR, and so yeah, it's only 3 pilots that we have as far as the law enforcement component, the DFR. Now, this beta is going so well that we plan by the end of the year, we plan to expand it citywide.
What are the performance measures?
The performance measures is that right now when we respond to a call, how fast is the system there to give an overview, a bird's eye view to first responders as they get to the scene. That's one of the metrics that we're measuring. The outcome of that was the drone effective, changed and mitigated that call. So we want to look at them very closely. Did it provide evidence? Did it provide basically a positive outcome, right? And obviously, when you just imagine you're a first responder and you're getting all this type of calls on the and what's happening at the scene, and oftentimes a police officer gets to a scene and it's nothing to what's being relayed on the radio. I mean, that much of a difference of what a witness, a reporter, what it gets transpired to the dispatcher. So now imagine a first responder, how much more equipped and mentally and decision making when you have already somebody telling you, okay, this individual just struck somebody with an object, it's running this way behind, hiding at this place. And we've seen those metrics. We've seen how it's provided those in this very short time. That's why it's going so well that we are going to expand it. It's just an amazing tool that instead of any a single agency having if they can afford a helicopter or a plane or and pilots, and it's just a much more efficient way to improve public safety.
And have y'all been collecting this data since the pilot program launched back in, I believe, 2017?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, the DFR, we just started in July. The DFR, where we started remotely sending a drone to those most serious calls for service.
Chief, I want to follow up real quickly on something you mentioned earlier about
Yes, sir.
being grandfathered in case this law gets kicked in. I just did kind of a quick little research on my phone.
Yes, sir.
So that requires the Federal Communications Commission to pass some rules, which hasn't happened yet. So who told you you were grandfathered?
Well, I'm not too privy on the research you're mentioning, so I can get back to you and let you know what our understanding is about this legislation that they're trying for and against. Like I mentioned earlier, when we purchased this technology, there was no existing ban, this wasn't the case back then.
They were
But I
placed
can.
under federal sanctions in 2021 or 2022 too, so that's not the first time.
Right, and it's because of equipment, technology that's made in China, correct? So I think out of the 8 cameras you have here, I bet you 8 of them are made in China. So there's a lot of concern, pro and against technology like that, right? So absolutely, sir, will do.
Thank you. We're going to have a short demonstration here for you so you can see if you turn your attention to the screens behind me, and you'll be able to see. On the right is a view of the pod that's up here on headquarters that if you give it a few seconds will be opening, and you'll see the deployment of the unmanned vehicle. It takes a few seconds.
Return to home. Landing.
Okay, well, now that the drone's back home and docked, that concludes our press conference. We'll be around for one-on-ones should you need one. Thank you.